everybody. Welcome to episode 96 of the Alexei podcast. And this is the first, sadly, the first post-Wilf podcast. We went and actually got his ashes today, which are a surprisingly small box. But, we will be forever deprived of his intervention.
Yeah,
but thank you. I thank everybody for all their kind messages, and
yeah,
he was a good boy.
he was. Always, and like to think the amount of people that would have met him.
Yeah,
coming around your house, and the limited times I was there with people, so like, Andrew Feinstein, but then the Jeremy Corbyn interaction was very sweet, and I've been remembering that one because it sprung up a conversation about El Gato, who also passed away earlier this year, I think.
Yes.
So that's a poignant memory, but
it's terribly sad, really. It's
pets have such a cruel way of gripping onto your soul, don't they? And they're so unlike human friends. There's very little they can do to really piss you off. And when they do piss you off, you always have so much more understanding.
Well, it's a much less complicated relationship than with humans. It's just very pure, I think.
Yeah. Well, I'm terribly sorry for your loss and for all of our loss.
Thank you. That's pretty shitty. Anyway, thank you everybody again for your comments.
Yeah, all the Instagram comments I told Alexei about.
Yeah.
Means a lot.
Yeah. So, onward and downward.
I've not heard that before.
Last night I did a proper podcast. I did Pod Save the UK with Nish Kumar and Coco, somebody or other. It was a special Gaza. It was for Amnesty International, really.
Was that the live one?
Yeah, it was the live one at King's Place, and the guest was the first guest. The first half of the show was a Algiers journalist called Wael. I've forgotten his second name. It's Wael, who had his entire family murdered, his son murdered, and had himself survived a murder attempt by the Israelis. A man obviously suffering tremendous trauma, really. So it was and
all the time. That's Wael al-Dahdouh.
That's right.
The whole time he was going through trauma after trauma. He kept very professionally doing his work. And reporting, and it was very clear that I think staying in Gaza any longer was they were stupidly dangerous.
Kept trying to kill him.
I wonder how he got out of there and how anyone gets out of there.
I don't know, really. I mean, Algiers, I guess, does still have
their resources.
I
think he'd given enough, I suppose, right?
Yeah, but the poor man, it was so moving to be in his presence, and just the nobility of that man compared to the utter depravity of Israel and its armed forces and those who speak. The cynical cruelty of Israel and its supporters is, a constant. Every day we're reminded of the depths of human barbarity, really, but also occasionally with that guy with the very pinnacle of self-sacrifice and nobility. It shouldn't be like that, but so you just are every day the kind of, depravity. I could think of disgusting, depraved behavior of Israel and people who support it is just a constant reminder of how awful, if people are allowed to be awful, how awful they can be.
Yeah.
Really. And it's moving, but also
It's exposing the darker side.
This, life. But also, this just one shining pinnacle of a human being, So anyway, it's a nice evening. Nish is very nice, and Jen Bristol was the other guest. I mean, somebody who was also, very involved in the struggle to try and save Palestinian lives and to represent Palestinian cause. So it's nice to see Jen again.
Yes.
I noticed that there's a big superstar. Where have you been the last 2 years? Palestine benefit organised by Brian Eno at the OVO Wembley Arena, I think, which is sold out.
Did it sell out?
Yeah, apparently. My phone says it did. Benedict Cumberbatch, Brian Eno, Portishead.
Palestine thing.
Yeah.
That's the tickets were not cheap either, so I'm impressed that it's sold out. That's cool. Are you going to be taking part?
No, I have not been invited, but it's not.
It's mainly musicians.
I can't really. It's mostly musicians. Well, there's a lot of actors as well.
Oh my God.
I can't complain.
Let's get you in there doing Hello John Got a New Motor.
I think we should really.
At the Wembley Arena. Come on, man.
It's not about it's not about my ego, but it's also about my ego. Our friend Stephen Kapos, the 88-year-old Holocaust survivor, he's going to do a tight 10. He's on the bill. He's just been added to the bill according to my phone, which is great. I mean, it's a weird, the side effects of this terrible, terrible thing. But Stephen, in his later years, he's going on tour, I think. And he's constantly jetting off to places. Because, he's a voice of, a unique voice with tremendous authority, a Jewish Holocaust survivor who is, profoundly anti-Zionist.
Yes.
He is, he is worth being feted, really. He's a very nice man. He also embodies all that, what was great about the sort of pre-war Jewish and suppose post-war Jewish intellectual, the best of the Jewish intellectuals, Middle European intellectuals, again, whose memory and whose example the Zionists constantly betray with their racism and bigotry, But he's the best of that generation of European Jews,
The Jewish people have contributed so much and so much culture and intellectual input into our world, and Israel's trying to steal that away from them, by trying to claim that their existence is intertwined with what Jews have given us, and what wonderful people,
their culture, they're just disgusting, just the worst of humanity.
When I think of Jewish people, I think of really smart, witty,
what you think
cultured, in tune with the earth, not needing the identity of Jewishness is okay, I'm not going to speak too much on this, but this yearning, this need to have a land for a people and people without a land and all. It's just that's never been part of the fucking story.
Yeah. Need to have an apartheid state that murders children.
It's cruelty. Yeah. It's not necessary for your Jewish identity. And if that is what you need to consider yourself, have a Jewish purpose and identity, then you're not a very strong character and person. And if your requirement is to crush a whole fucking people.
Yeah, but to punch, it's not just punching down, is it? It's bombing down and shooting down and flame throwing down, really. Anyways, that's what I did last night. Well, also, was I on the news last night? Did anybody notice? I recorded a piece for the ITV News last night.
That nobody watches then, did it?
Nobody watches linear telly anymore, including me. So I don't know if I was on really, but I also did the BBC Radio 4 Tonight program. I think I recorded a piece for them over the phone.
Let's see if anyone. Carry on. I was going to see
because some survey from a marketing company had said that I think of the working comedians in Britain, that the largest group came from Liverpool, and so they wanted me to speak to that, really. So I was able to speak from the Olympian heights of my seniority as the senior working Liverpool comedian.
I can't imagine much discussion of Gaza and the podcast.
You can't really. I mean, they just cut it out if you force it in, so there's no point really in even going there. But it was fine. I mean, I'd like to think they used it, but then these days. I mean, did I tell that story where me and Jenny Manson from Jewish Voice for Labour were interviewed we were supposed to be going on the Today programme or something, and then talk about the Palestine Action Ban, I think. And then we were interviewed by this camera crew from Daily Politics or something. So then, as they often do, Radio 4 said, well, they couldn't have a song because we'd already been interviewed. And it turned out Daily Politics wasn't on at that time because it was Parliament was in recess. So
right.
So I don't know who the hell it was who was interviewing us.
Huh.
It was a very strange interlude anyway. I don't know whoever it was interviewed. It's never used whatever interview it was that they filmed. So
sounds a bit fishy if you ask me.
Yeah, it was all very...
big conspiracy.
Yeah, it was all very annoying. So you found out whether I was on yet?
Not seen any evidence. No.
Maybe I wasn't then.
But I'll keep an eye out. If any listeners at home watched that ITN broadcast, ITV News,
I think I was on the radio. I think they must use the radio.
Send us clips.
Yeah. I thought, well, I'm relevant again. No, it turns out I'm not.
No, you are.
Am I?
To me,
relevant? Yeah, to you.
I think you are. Look, it's these live events you keep getting invited to over and over again. It is testament in itself, and I think it's a good. You were almost. I thought you were going to say it earlier, but like one of the positives to take out of the current global situation is that you're really seeing who the good people are, and you're getting, which events to go to and where to put your money. And, it's so much easier now to choose what events to go to. I just see who is involved. Are they good people? And it's more often than not, the talented, funny, witty, interesting people are the ones who are actually on side. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah. And also, as I said last night, because as a sort of closing comments really, that demonstrations are fine. I mean, they're an act of solidarity, and I guess maybe the size of the demonstrations stops the government from being even worse than they are anyway, if that's possible. I'm not entirely sure that's possible, but maybe they had a restraining effect. But as I said last night, the only real possibility of change is to seize political power, and that process continues. I know Nish said that they've got Zara Sultana on their podcast on Sunday, so I'm hoping to go along to that and maybe speak to her. I think what she, her.
So were you acting as a co-host or as a guest?
I was a guest. I was just a guest.
Did Nish mention, because I've been talking to him about coming on here at some point.
No, he was very complimentary to me, obviously, and he seems very nice.
He's keen. I think sometime this month we should.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
But you mentioned that's protests might have some sort of effect, but it makes me a bit sick to see how much the government is going along with these anti-asylum seeker protests.
Oh,
and
my
how
God,
Keir Starmer is just bending over backwards to make people believe he's a bigot as well.
Yeah. Which just enables, I don't know whether it's stupidity or deliberate. I don't know whether he's such a fucking idiot. I mean, they are all fucking idiots, and they're arrogant and they're stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's just, what they are. If there's, I'd be kind of, maybe more impressed if it was some Machiavellian plot, but I suspect all of it is just their stupidity, really.
I think Keir Starmer's showing his cowardice here.
Yes,
I think it would be impressive
man.
if he went on national TV and made a fucking announcement and said, and stood up to these people and said, "You're barking up the wrong tree. You have to stop. Stop scapegoating these people and give them a scolding."
Yeah.
To all these racist people who are attacking poor migrants.
Yeah, I suppose that. Yeah,
I show some backbone and be like, all right, yeah, tell them off. We need a leader who's willing to fucking tell people off when they act out of line.
But he would also have to admit that these people are acting partly out of disillusionment, and it's disillusionment with him and his fucking stupid policies, So, and he can't admit that really. So he's kind of in a bind, isn't he? Because he can't admit that, that all this is happening because of Labour's.
Instead, he says
failure.
things like, he said most recently, he wants more than anything to shut down these asylum seeker hotels. He did in an interview, he said that he always sits in front of a Union Jack when he at home. He's very encouraging of he says, I'm very encouraging of flags. I think they're patriotic and a great symbol of our nature. He's very encouraging of people putting up national flags. Asked whether people putting up the Union or the St. George's cross flag in the wake of the hotel protests, he said, "I'm a supporter of flags."
So does that mean we can put up Palestine flags?
I am the leader of the Labour
UK liars for Israel. Stop us.
I'm the leader of the Labour Party who put the Union Jack on our Labour Party membership cards. I always sit in front of the Union Jack. I've been doing it for years. And it attracted a lot of comments when I started doing it. I was on holiday last week in Wales, and on the drive back, I've been seeing them gradually increasing, but I was shocked to see how many St. George flags are just posted on lampposts and on bridges on the motorway. Yeah. And, I know it's a real vocal minority who are doing it, but
it only needs 10 dickheads putting up 10 flags each, doesn't it, in a night?
But it has an effect because on a motorway, there's so many hundreds of thousands of people passing it every day. You're just and you're passing 10, 20 of them, and you're just boom, 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 England, England, England. I don't belong here. I don't belong here. And it's just, it is intimidating. It brings up bad memories of experiences I had when I was younger and stuff, as well. And it is, I don't feel as, well done to them because they're doing well. I don't feel I can move as freely. I feel safe in London, but there's something in the back of my head if I'm traveling in, more rural areas or less urban. I don't feel especially looking at how I do.
Yeah,
it's worrying and intimidating to me, man. Yeah. It's really.
They were all up. They were all Union Jacks up Amwell Street in Islington, for God's sake. I thought at first I was cycling up there to, martial arts class, and this is colourful. And I thought, fucking hell. It's that scene in from Cabaret, isn't it? The scene Tomorrow Belongs to Me, where you sort of pull back from the angelic kid singing to see all the Nazi flags.
Yeah.
Which was written by Kander and Ebb, that song. It's not a real Nazi anthem. It was actually written by Kander and Ebb.
Wow. The irony is St. George is Syrian.
Yeah. And isn't he the patron saint of Palestine as well?
Yeah.
So maybe they're all pro-Palestinian. And the dance videos proceed apace. They haven't dropped off at all. They're still.
To be honest, I've not looked for a while. Let me see the current stat. Seeing as you're asking, here we go. How many views in the last 30 days? 1.1 million views.
Fuck.
On our Instagram. So that's not letting off, is it?
And if you spread that, there's other platforms. That's going up, if anything, isn't it?
But also, there's other content that we're putting up there that's doing well, and that's contributing to it, including those folks at the Royal Albert Hall last week, who interrupted the proms.
What were they plugging up?
I helped share their bloody action that they did.
Right.
Because it was my friends at Jewish Artists for Palestine. I assumed you wouldn't have had a problem with me sharing that stuff.
No, not at all.
And we helped kind of spread the word of their action because the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra were playing on the final day of the proms, and they are funded by one of Netanyahu's top donors.
Yes.
And they cancelled a pianist because he dedicated a song to Gaza.
On. Yeah.
So they interrupted their performance.
Good for them.
Lowered some banners. And
actually, today, apparently, this is today, Wednesday, that the protesters every day since the Vuelta a España, the Spanish classic bike race, has gone into Spain. From Italy, there's been protests every day against Israel Premier Tech, and the race was actually stopped today. And the other teams are saying that Israel Premier Tech has to withdraw from the tour because they're putting other people at risk, really, the protests are. So let's hear more about that. Fucking Israel Premier Tech. They ruined the bloody Tour de France for me. At least they never won a stage, never won anything. And I know it's just one of their leading riders, Derek G, has broken his contract. I think not for, not for moral reasons, but he's certainly weaseled out of his contract with them. And I know another of their riders, whose name I can't remember, also said he was glad to have left, really. So we're fucking Israel Premier.
I think it does. Go on, sorry.
No, my mate Steve was also saying that Aston Villa are due to play Maccabi Tel Aviv in the Champions League, I guess. So
they're not coming to England, are they?
Well, they will do, presumably. If they come to Birmingham, I would have thought, because of course there was that absolute lie. Do you remember when, I think it was Maccabi Tel Aviv or Maccabi Haifa played in Amsterdam, and there was this shit about there was a pogrom in Amsterdam just because people had fought back because they'd been tearing down Palestinian flags and running through the streets beating people up.
Yeah.
People of colour. And that's never that. I mean, the mayor of Amsterdam actually issued a statement saying that she'd made a mistake typifying it as a pogrom. But most of the other press outfits, never resiled from that story. So, that it still sits there that, Jewish fans were attacked, whereas in fact it was the racist Jewish fans who were attacking people.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I would have thought they'd get a warm reception if Maccabi Tel Aviv fans try and kick off in Birmingham.
They might try and join in with these asylum seeker protests.
Yeah,
they'll find their friends there,
yeah.
I think all these global demonstrations against Israel are showing us that governments aren't really listening to any of it.
Yeah.
But what they are doing is increasing our solidarity movements.
And also they are opening, and that's, it's got, fuck your party. They've got to move soon to occupy that space before it's too late.
Someone messaged me to say they were leafleting outside Brixton Station the other day.
Your party, the local branch, or Well, branches have formed spontaneously, haven't they? So,
yeah. I'm getting increasingly worried that they're only going to be effective in London and other big cities.
I think, the big cities, Newcastle, Liverpool, obviously.
Yeah.
Preston.
No, but just, seeing the uprising in these racist fucking
groups. There will be, I think that's fair to I think, as Andrew said when he was on this podcast, we shouldn't, the people who live in those areas should set up a branch of your party and should actively campaign because, there was that poll that said, a YouGov poll, I think, that said something like, I might be exaggerating the numbers, but 40% of Reform voters would also vote for a Jeremy Corbyn-led party. Because what motivates them is not being right-wing, but what motivates them is profound disillusion with our system, really, our political system, and with our representatives. I think we should, if there is a core of lefties in Epping then they should, form a branch of your party or whatever the hell.
I don't know, but there is also not to stereotype, but there are a large number of people who grew up in households where saying the P word, the N word was just normal and celebrated, and that's like never trust the dirty whatever, this or that, There are families that have this culture that it's not just to do with a class, There are families where that is just kind of the culture they grew up in, and when they find a place where they can be loud and proud with that, then that's
Labour
what you
Party.
end up seeing is what we see the Labour Party.
I finally come home. I was an out-and-out racist who hated all foreigners, and I finally found my home, which is in the Labour Party. I love Yvette Cooper. She really speaks to my innate racism and bigotry and Wes Streeting. I think Linda saw it, somebody described Wes Streeting, they thought he, as a prospect, they described his film star. They thought Wes Streeting might be a good candidate to be leader of the Labour Party because of his film star good looks. Yeah, if the film is I, Robot, or possibly Alien Intervention or whatever it's called, Alien Nation,
Alien Apartheid.
Yeah. Wes Streeting's film star good looks.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Absolutely fuck off.
That shows how deluded they are that they think Wes Streeting's got film star good looks.
What was Rory Stewart talking about recently? He was disgust at something. Do you know?
I don't know. He's not keen. He was going off about Jeremy Corbyn's, I think. I don't know. As I say, you shouldn't think he's all right just because he looks like a monkey. I don't know. He was going on about some nonsense.
Okay.
He's pretty right wing, And doing a podcast with that fucking war criminal, Alistair Campbell. Trying to rehabilitate his bloody...
His daughter's very funny, apparently.
You're being... She's not.
Should she be held accountable for her dad?
I know it's cruel, isn't it? But she hasn't. Cruel. I think she has to renounce her dad. She shouldn't be held. But if you don't, and
she's in
Grace Campbell. She's not very funny, in my experience. But should we ask her to? Does she have to renounce her father and all his works, or maybe she loves? Yeah, that was. I talked. I don't think I talked before about my friend Marco, who's dead now, who was a Ukrainian, a communist Ukrainian nationalist, but whose father was, when he was young, because he was ordered by the Ukrainian nationalists, actually joined the SS and was in the SS.
Yes,
Galicia division, and that Marco had somehow found a way to forgive his father's actions, I think. I don't know. Unfortunately, he died before I could really talk to him about it. But I don't know I don't know quite. If you're somebody like Grace Campbell, as far as I know, she doesn't critique her father's. Her father is a war criminal. Her father is partly responsible for the deaths of, several million people in Iraq because of the lies that he propagated, the dodgy dossiers and stuff.
He's never received any
he's
punishment or anything.
Weasel his way out of any. Yeah, and so
they don't introduce him as that on the news or on his podcast.
No, yes,
maybe she's avoided
war criminal. Yeah, so I don't
Assuming
know.
She's around my age. She would have been a child when all that was happening. And, I'm trying to like empathize. I've never watched her comedy, but I'm just trying to empathize.
It's not great.
If you're in that position, like how, and your dad's still alive.
Yeah.
And he's probably the source of a lot of your income.
Probably, yeah.
How can you publicly
How do you square that circle, yeah? I don't know. Maybe she'd like to email and tell us.
Right, if you're listening, Grace.
Yeah, Grace. Sorry, I said you weren't very funny. I don't really know, in all fairness. I haven't really studied your oeuvre.
We throw these things
you
around.
You might be hilarious. Yeah, I'm a bitter and angry old man, so
forgive
don't take any notice of what I say about younger comedians. But
she'll very comfortably denounce you, I'm sure.
Yeah. If you wanna email in, Grace, and let us know. Defend your dad and your mum, your frosty-faced mum.
What? Who's? I don't know.
What's her? She's called Fiona Miller, I think. They're not married. She's a big advocate for state education, but she always seems like a very cold woman.
Okay, help me then square this circle, and I might cut this out. That was a good edit point.
Yeah.
But this thing, you might have to help me with the names here. But the leak that came out about your party, that Jeremy's advisor or something, his wife works for Keir Starmer. Do you know who I'm talking about?
James Schneider,
not related to the B-52s singer, I'm assuming.
No. I don't know. Well, yeah, I mean,
you're in bed with the enemy, quite literally. Like, how does this work?
I think that. I mean, it does follow on from our debate about Grace Campbell. Can James Schneider? I mean, James Schneider talks a great game. I mean, I've seen him on Novara, on the TV, talking about how the new party has to be democratic and from the bottom up and all that stuff. And I don't, in all fairness, know. He was co-founder. I don't know if he was one of the kind of apologize and move on faction or not, the ones who said, and which was absolutely true in Zara Sultana's critique of Corbynism, that they'd made a terrible mistake by apologizing to the Israel lobby. And Chris Williamson, as I said before, I think Chris Williamson said to me that Labour MP was ultimately expelled by a big supporter of Jeremy. He was expelled by Jeremy, by the Labour Party under Jeremy. But he said that John McDonnell would constantly say to him, just make this one apologise, and then that will draw a line under it. Just make that one apology, and then that will draw a line on it. And we under it. Sorry, I'll do that again.
Just make that again, and even the bit before.
Just make. I was just asked if I want to do a self-tape for 5 lines in a Michael Fassbender movie. It's probably just as well that I didn't. I said no because I'd get it wrong. John McDonnell would say to Chris Williamson, just make this one apology and then that will draw a line under it and we can move on. And if he made that apology, of course, it didn't draw a line under it. It just inflamed the Israel lobby to demand more and more apologies. And they would never, as we know, they will never take yes for an answer.
Because we know what their mission was from the beginning. Right?
Yeah. And so if James Schneider is associated with that aspect of Corbynism, then I think that is very problematic. I mean, the fact that I think his wife works for Starmer, I don't know. I mean, what you talk about, over dinner. Hello, darling, your boss betrayed the working class and the Palestinian people again brilliantly this afternoon. I don't know. Again, James, if you're listening, well, you probably might listen to the show. Email in, come on, talk about it. I mean, he's a very compelling performer when I've seen him on the TV. I mean, Momentum also was, in the end turned out to be problematic. I think he was co-founder of Momentum or co-leader of Momentum was led by John Landsman, who now is in the Jewish Labour movement, which is pro-settler, pro-apartheid, pro-ethnic cleansing, pro-genocide. And so he was a kind of a viper at the heart of could be seen as a viper at the heart of Corbynism, really.
I just love how that list, that there was a damning list of people working in your party that was leaked by David Miller.
Oh, right.
I just love how you were there with me when we were at that studio in West London. Right. And there were these people trying to get you and others to sign a petition on behalf of George Galloway and David Miller.
Yes.
Asking Corbyn and Sultana to allow them to be involved in your party. It was like, why haven't you invited
wasn't it
us?
more that they were to condemn Jeremy for something or other? I can't remember.
No,
what
that
it was
first
now.
petition was, please invite us to the table. We want to get involved.
Okay.
And after being ignored, a month later, David Miller leaked that list.
Right.
Because they were obviously a bit butthurt about not being let into the party when they are like kind of
people,
the uglier voices on the left. And
they can be, yeah. I mean, people always... I supported David Miller. I mean, but people, even somebody like Tony Greenstein says that he can be anti-Semitic.
He is. It's great he won the court case. That was nothing to do with anti-Semitism. That was to do with a conflation of Zionism and Judaism. That was a great court case that he won. But he has... I have it on good authority that he has crossed the line. He is anti-Semitic, full stop. And George Galloway, my opinion, homophobe, sexist, misogynist.
Not an anti-Semite, though. Fair play. A lot of people around him, he always had a lot
not
of Jews
vocally.
around him.
Yeah, I've not seen that. But there's enough, his Christian values lead his policy more than his humanity.
He's an odd fish.
And it's very old-fashioned Christian values that he follows. And he's not a nice fella.
George Galloway, if you want to email into the program...
I'm not having him on this show. I'm going to veto that.
David Miller, if you want to email in. Tony Greenstein. Tiger Woods, if you want to email in. Alicia Keys, if you'd like to email into the show.
Yeah. What do you mean, where dreams are made from? That doesn't make sense, that sentence, Alicia Keys.
No, great song. In New York.
I have an email to read to you, Lex.
Robert De Niro, if you want to email into the show, come on, tell us about your views. Cab Calloway, 1930s music. If you want to email in to the show. Napoleon III of France, if you want to email into the show. Queen of I don't know.
It'd be good to get St. George on to get the story. Get the story from
George
him.
On.
See where he stands on all this.
H.G. Wells, I know, is a big fan of the show.
Jules Verne,
Jules Holland.
Have them both. All the
Juleses. Julie Driscoll from the 60s or 70s. All the Juleses. Julian Schnabel. Julian Sands. I know he's dead, isn't he?
Both Cassius Clay and Muhammad Ali on.
Yeah. You never see them together, do you?
No, you don't.
Sorry, what were you going to say?
I have an email to read you.
Yeah, okay.
Feel free to interrupt at any point when you have interjections. Hi, Talal. Great fan of the pod. Please keep them coming. I'm a friend. This is from Robert. I'm a friend of the old school comic John Dowie.
Yes.
And your young comic, older comic relationship with Alexei reminds me of ours sometimes. Always makes me laugh as well as being pals. I also published John Dowie's new memoir, Before I Go.
All right.
It is often... Oh, you got something to say?
No, well, you can finish.
No, okay, feel free to interrupt. It's often claimed, not by Dowie himself, but by comedy historians, that Dowie was the first alternative comedian 2 years before Alexei. They are connected by Tony Allen, as well as Alexei's partner Linda, I think.
I don't know what Linda's got to do with it, but I think that's a reason. I mean, I always claim to have invented everything myself. But yes, John Dowie, I mean, I always felt sorry for John Dowie because he, it's right place, right time. He was when I was with Threepenny Theatre, the Brechtian cabaret troupe that spawned my stand-up, me and Cliff Cocker, the director, and Bill, the other performer, we went to see John Dowie at the Bush Theatre in Shepherd's Bush, and it had a tremendous effect on me. I thought I've never seen anybody doing what he does, and he really. it did. It sparked. It may. I mean, who knows where it did spark in me possibly the impetus to do stand up really. And so that show, I mean, I think that's perfectly reasonable. Unfortunately, he was 2 years too early, and I went for a drink with him. There was a.
Put yourself in the middle of the screen there.
Sorry, I know. I thought it looks casual and relaxed, but
very casual, relaxed. But your face would have been covered by my little box there. If you're a Patreon viewer watching the video podcast,
shortchanged.
So he was 2 years too early, you think?
Yeah, we went. There was a review. I remember there was a review in like New Musical Express of like a John Dowie concert or something, and it said, John Dowie's really funny, but in a world with Alexei Sale in it, he seems irrelevant and kind of pointless, really.
Oh shit!
And so, and just after that, he came to the Comedy Store, I think, and we went for a drink in this old actors club called Macready's in Covent Garden. And I said, to him, you were a tremendous inspiration to me. And he said, well, no, this sounds very vain. He said something like, yeah, but I can see what the review meant, really, because what he didn't really have was attack. He didn't, that first iteration of me was so striking, partly because of just the extraordinary aggression towards the audience, which nobody had ever done before, and fitted in with the zeitgeist really, perfectly. So he understood that, he didn't quite fit in, but he was absolutely. I mean, when I claim to have started everything and invented everything, it's partly a joke.
Well, maybe not to belittle his work, but no, he was an ingredient to make what you created.
Yeah, there. I don't know where Linda comes into. I mean, I don't know, or Tony Allen for that matter.
I've got a delivery. 1 second. Hello, dear listener. Looks like I've just run off to get my delivery. So while I'm gone, I thought I'd just pop on here and remind you that if you're capable of doing so, you can support the show from as little as a couple of quid a month on our Patreon. And by doing so, you will get to watch full video versions of our podcast. Look, we all know the Alexei podcast is an independent affair, and we never want to have adverts on this show. And so to keep us going, you can support us at the Patreon. That's over at patreon.com/alexeisaylepodcast. I'll say it again, patreon.com/alexeisaylepodcast. And as always, please keep your questions coming in, alexeisaylepodcast@gmail.com. Follow us at alexeisaylepod on Instagram, TikTok. You can see Alexei's dances there, and you can comment and ask questions there as well. But mainly, head over to patreon.com/alexeisaylepodcast. Join in the community there. Ask us questions. Get a direct line to me. And you can ask questions. You can join the community chat. And you can watch video versions of the pod. All right. Oh, looks like I'm coming back. Bye-bye.
What is it? Wig.
Sorry, she made me run downstairs.
Fuck.
She made me run downstairs. She had a lot of packages.
She made me run downstairs. A new song from Guy Garvey and Elbow.
She made me run downstairs just to say goodbye.
Actually, I couldn't find it, but I know Guy got that. The bit I did on Sandwich Bar, which I can't believe went out this year, and what I did of talking about Radio 6 listeners.
Cooking a vegetable
lasagna, and then later on we're going to see the prostate cancers at the old leather dildo factory in Burton on the Water. I know he played an excerpt from that. But they wouldn't let him say leather dildo, I think, on Six Music, and so they had to come out before then. But I had to sort of vague listen to his show. So, I mean, I like Guy Garvey's show on Six Music.
He played an excerpt of it.
He played an excerpt of that, but I've been looking for it and I haven't been able to find it, really, because I would like to. Because years ago, I worked with his missus, Rachel Sterling, on Diana Rigg's daughter on Tipping the Velvet, when I played theatre impresario Charles Fatty Frobisher. Just to say, the other star of Tipping the Velvet, I think, Keely Hawes, she was in this thing which got a good preview in the Guardian, but it was horrible. It was that same fucking story, which again I satirised in the series The Sandwich Bar about, she's a retired hit woman living in an island in Greece.
Was it The Assassin?
Yeah, I think it was so. But it was horrible because I know it's not real, but if you depict people being killed, and like everybody at a wedding, more or less, that she's at is killed, it's just kind of horrible. And I know there was a series, and I can't remember where it was, a recent series where they very much said, we're not going to do that because, that is it. And it was vile. I mean, it was dull. I mean, it was a bad idea anyway. But I mean, just all the killing that went on, and it was just repulsive. Anyway,
it can get a bit much sometimes, doesn't it?
Well, definitely.
It's a fine line when you're making films about, because obviously, assassins and hitmen and blah, blah. It's a very sexy kind of spies and that. It can be very sexy and stylish, but the dealing with killing.
Yeah.
It's got to be done. Either it's got to be like cartoony and unrealistic.
Even then I find it obnoxious, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, historically speaking, like, let's say the difference between old school James Bond and the more modern James Bonds.
Yeah.
When there's a bit more weight when Daniel Craig killed someone and then you see in his face like, oh, this is going to traumatize me.
Yeah.
I had to kill this person. Whereas, in the old school ones, Roger Moore would like just snap someone's neck and then make a pun about it,
Yeah.
But there was I think the delivery of the killings matters. So like how in The Assassin, so like what, everyone at this wedding gets killed and
it's everybody, there's all these innocent civilians, and it was upsetting. It was horrible.
And did they address it? And did they say this is upsetting, or did she brush it off?
I stopped watching it. I mean, that's one of the things about you can get your revenge now, can't you, on the show business, because they know the exact minute when you stop, the exact second when you stop watching. Series. When you got this one. Well, it was all Australian actors or New Zealand actors playing Americans. It was Brian Banner and Sam Neill, and it was an interesting idea. He was a kind of a cop, but in Yellowstone Park, and and it was like just some naffo story about a drug, a mysterious death and blah blah blah, which turns out to be linked to some meth ring operating in Yellowstone.
You mean Eric Banner?
Eric Banner, sorry, yeah. What did I say?
Brian Banner.
I don't know who the hell that is. Eric Banner. Untamed, yeah. And I got really quite near the end with that, but Netflix will know at the precise moment when I went, oh, fuck, I can't be, This is the explanation for this is going to... And he's a troubled cop, he's got ex-wife, kids died as well, which is another bloody empty, meaningless... kind of piece of writing.
I like Eric Banner.
Yeah.
He was my favourite Hulk.
And of which you should who's the Hulk, though, who's very good on Palestine, not James Franco. It's,
Mark Ruffalo. No, he's my favourite Hulk.
So
yes,
we should,
of course. Yes,
he should just, I think, he should be your favourite Hulk.
I love him. He's my favourite Hulk. Mark Ruffalo, all the way. He's actually I love him. He's one of my favorite actors. Me and my brother often debate. This is just me and my brother often debate who's better, him or Benicio del Toro, and I'm Team Ruffalo, and my brother likes del Toro.
Yeah,
but I thought Ang Lee's Hulk was quite underrated.
That's with Eric Banner, is it?
Yeah.
All right.
He fights some poodle hulks. 3 poodles turn into hulks and they fight him. Can I finish this email?
Absolutely don't care. Yes, go on.
All right, my view is that Dowie inspired Tony Allen and Tony Allen inspired Alexei. This is Robert's view. But Alexei was probably the first true example. Dowie and Alexei are old friends, and I wonder if you'd have Dowie on the show to battle it out whilst plugging Dowie's new book.
Yeah, I've got no objection to having John Dowie. I mean, he's got the timeline wrong there because me and Tony were synchronous, really. Tony didn't influence me at all. We were appearing we evolved at the same time. I mean, I was very fond of Tony. He was a difficult man, but, I kind of loved Tony, but he didn't really have an effect on me as a performer.
Robert's a very small publisher. He doesn't use social media or Amazon because he's a moral idiot. Salute to you. So they need boosts of publicity where possible. So yeah, maybe see what Alexei thinks. Would he do an episode with John Dowie and talk comedy history and a little bit of politics?
Sure.
Much love and justice to Palestine from another lefty Jew, Robert W.
Sure.
Great. All right, Robert, you heard Alexei's answer. Let's make it happen. Send me the next steps. Let's make this happen. Right, that was my email portion of the show. That was the email, yeah. Some fun interjections there. Yeah, go on.
We've got nothing else to talk about then, have we? Really?
I've got stuff. Don't worry. I've got questions from
it's on nearly an hour.
From the Patreon.
Yeah, go on.
No, if you want to support the show, please.
Are we going to watch Battle of Algiers?
Yes, we'll come to that.
All
right. Mark asks on the Patreon, speaking of terrible movies, does Alexei have any memories of a crap one he made? Oh, Mark, watch your tongue. Alexei can criticize his films, not you. A crap one he made a brilliant one he made in 2017 entitled Gloves Off.
Yes. No, Mark's right, it was crap. That was, I was thinking about that, just thinking about Gloves Off. Where do you start with Gloves Off, really? I don't know if I've got the time to.
The fuck maybe is Gloves Off?
We could devote a. If we are
Denise
doing
Van Outen,
Ricky Tomlinson, Paul Barber,
Brad Moore,
who
Matt
financed the film, really.
5.3 out of 10. 71% on Google reviews. Doug, an ex-boxer, finds his life in a mess when he is burdened by debt. However, everything changes after he decides to train a gentle giant. Is that you? For a bare-knuckle championship?
No, I can't remember who the hell that is. There's my part. I'm an alcoholic accountant who miraculously... I have a drink and that sobers me up and makes me, because famously, of course, alcoholics having another drink, that's what makes them sharpen up and get their act together. That's particularly. I suppose it was a bit. Yeah, it wasn't a great. I think that might have been the last film I ever did. Actually, I think we did it we made it in Leeds, I think.
It's a red flag when they make it hard to find who the director is.
Well, it was this guy, Brad, he'd been in some of those sort of, those films are about football hooligans. I don't know if they're still popular, really. Yeah. Or there's a whole
directed by Stephen Nesbitt. Sorry to interrupt.
I don't know who that was. There's a whole slew of films. Those 4 guys who were found shot dead in a Range Rover in a field in Essex about 20 years ago. There's about 500 cheaply shot on video films about Essex Boys or Revenge of the Essex Boys, Return of the Essex Boys. And I think he'd been in that sort of film or sub Guy Ritchie films, and then he decided to finance. He had been a boxer, I think. He decided to finance this movie, and he wasn't a good enough actor, to be honest. Really, he couldn't really carry it.
So he wrote it and starred in it.
Yeah, which is always a mistake,
Oh, God.
Unless you're Woody Allen. Even that turned out to be a mistake in the end. But yes,
any
gloves
fun
off,
memories on set? What's Denise Van Outen like?
She's very nice. I mean, I knew her partly from
Big Breakfast?
the old Big Breakfast days, yeah. So, you know, and Ricky Tomlinson. Ricky Tomlinson is always, you know, I mean, he's always holds court, really. You know, he's a chatty fellow, Ricky. But, you know, good value. Paul Barber's very nice. In fact, and then I used him later in... he starred in a radio play that I did for Radio 4. Yeah, it was fine. Everybody's very nice, and it was, you know.
Well, Mark continues, not all your movies are bad. He has a lovely performance in the very sweet Sometimes Always Never in 2018. That's the year after Gloves Off.
What the fuck is that?
A character who could be a live-action version of Teddy the Handyman from Bob's Burgers. Sometimes Always Never. What, this isn't ringing a bell to you?
No. That's somebody else. Maybe it's Omid.
With Bill Nye.
Oh, yeah.
Tim McInerney. Yeah, you're in this.
I know. Well, it's written by
Maybe it's Omid. You even confuse yourself for Omid.
It's written by my friend Frank Cottrell Boyce. And I think I said to him in the end, if you can get me a part that I can do in a day, I'll do it, really. And it's a lovely film. And actually, Tim McInerney gives a really great performance in it, a performance of great,
I love him,
depth. And Tim was so annoyed because, like a card, like a single, what I think it's called a card, which is at the opening credits, your name just appears on the screen by itself.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'd got, for my one day, Tim had been on this film for weeks, turning in a performance, and we both got like a single card. So it go, I mean, who else is in it? I can't remember. Bill Nye. It's Sam Riley, isn't it?
Jenny Agutter.
So our names come up like Bill Nye, Sam Riley, Jenny Agutter, Tim McInerney, Alexei Sale, and Tim was going fucking mad. He said, "You're only on the film for a fucking day. You get a card." I said, "Well, you change your agent, mate." I said, but yes, it's a very nice film. It's about the sort of the healing qualities of Scrabble.
Yeah, I was about to say the logo is made out of Scrabble tiles.
Yeah, no, it's a really nice film. It's very sweet, very, very frank, really. Yeah, no, I am good in that, really, but it's only...
Oh, that's one to watch then.
I was only on it for a day, yeah.
Directed by Carl Hunter, released in 2019, 14th of June in the UK.
Carl Hunter, also a friend of mine.
Do you play Scrabble? You good at Scrabble?
No.
Okay. All right, so Alexei hinted at it. We're going to watch Battle for Algiers, 1966 movie. Well, it's a documentary.
It's not a documentary. Shot in a kind of it's a director Pontecorvo. It's filmed in a kind of Italian new wave style.
Oh yeah, it's Italian neorealism style.
Neorealism, yeah. But it's very much not a documentary, although it is very realistic.
Yeah, Google described it as a documentary. It's definitely not that.
No, Google
looks fucking sick. There is a YouTube. You can watch it on YouTube, folks. It's an hour and 11 minutes long. And it's completely free to watch with English subtitles on YouTube. That's great. We're going to watch it for next week's episode, and we're going to chat about it.
Yes.
Any pre-thoughts, any predictions, anything you want people to look out for or think about?
No, it's a long time since I've seen it, really. I mean, but it's about... Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know if people will need historical context, but it's obviously about the attempts of the FNL to the Algerian nationalists to free themselves from the yoke of French colonialism, and the bloody kind of French fight back, really.
What does FNL stand for?
Is it? I think it's FNL or in
Saturday
French,
Night Live?
Front National.
Oh, Front National, yeah.
Or NFL, National Front Liberation. FNL, Front National Liberation. I think.
This is about Algerian uprising. Interestingly enough, my cousin just had her film. She made a documentary, premiered at the Venice Film Festival. And it's called My Father and Gaddafi. And it's a bit about the Libyan history of colonialization and dictatorship. But also her father, my uncle, was kidnapped and eventually murdered by Gaddafi. And she spent 9 years making this documentary, telling that story through the lens of Libyan history and how it affects a family and trauma and stuff like that.
I mean, it's a great. I mean, history goes on, I suppose, but it's a tremendous, disappointment the way the initial leaders of liberation struggles, across the Middle East, particularly and Africa as well, turned into despots themselves. Really.
Yes.
I mean, and it's we really need to book that trend. I think I mean, and Algeria is a very repressive country now. Partly, I would say, because the collective trauma of the liberation struggle would be my guess. But I mean, some people are kind of like, at least Gaddafi spread the oil wealth around, and he was very good on women's empowerment and what have you.
That's just so he could justify having a harem.
No. Yes, probably.
Yeah, but
he's better than. I mean, I guess he was better than who's there now. But then on the other hand, that his failures are what means that.
Well, yes,
leads to the chaos of who's there. You can't keep a lid on those tensions. I think by repression and force, really.
Even Gaddafi's opposition are now yearning for the days when they had Gaddafi. What do they say? Because back then we had one tyrant, and now we have 1,000 because Libya's just split into these
as per
gang lands.
Which is what Israel wants, of course.
Yes,
and the United States.
And yes, you can blame a lot of outside influence for these outcomes in the Middle East and Africa. All eyes on Burkina Faso president. Ibrahim Traore.
Ibrahim Traore, yeah. Although I saw in the Guardian there, if it's true that they've outlawed homosexuality in Burkina Faso, which is kind of puts paid to that hero worship.
That's just the sign. That is this fucking world in a goddamn nutshell, right there, man. Jesus Christ.
Assuming what the Guardian says is true, of course. All right, we're going to end it there.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to dig up that clip of Jeremy meeting Wilf, and I might whack it on at the end of this episode.
What do you think you were going to do all the times Wilf interrupted me, but that's probably quite a big job, really.
I'll see how far I get with that.
Yeah, all right, thank you. It's a lovely thought.
Let's throw to Wilf, and
bye-bye.
Much
Wilf.
love to him and all of our furry friends who are no longer with us. Huh?
Masalam.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. But then you were Beard Man of the Year, weren't you? I think.
Beard of the Year quite a few times. I've won that. Sometimes there's been some close contests, and my friends have got on the, got
close. But you pioneered the great beard.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
having a good beard is a good thing. Well, yours is pretty good. I like the point on your beard.
Yeah, no, it's sculpted. Well, I think you've got more hair on your head than me but I think you know, when you get to when you go bald, the only option is Baroque facial hair. Really, that's the only. So I have this kind of Van Dyke. You may find that.
Well, the Van Dyke look,
yeah. And Talal is also got this.
So I'm kind of lucky, really. I've got a bit of the above, isn't it?
A bit of both, yeah.
Wilf is also here, sitting in the doorway. He'd like to know how we were talking about. He'd like to know how El Gato is getting on now.
Wilf, is it?
Yeah, Wilf Mbanga. You may know.
Hello, how you doing? Well, if I'd known you were here, I'd have brought El Gato with me, and
we could have had a play date, yeah.
Well, they could have had a big scratch together, couldn't they? You know, because I find that cats are very possessive of their district. You know.
Yeah. Well, he's since we've been locked down, he won't. He got used to us being here all the time now.
Well, El Gato got fed up with us being at home. By about 11 in the morning. Come on, you lot.
How did he?
Jog on, you're supposed to be in my house during the day, He's defending the shed roof from all intruders.
Well, good for him.
He does that every day. From other cats,
It's
quite hard work. He has to spend the whole day on the shed roof keeping the other cats off it.
Yeah.
Tom Watson's cat is keeping on. So anyway, we have known each other for many years as political comrades, but we've never really... I remember you showed me that cupboard. You took me into that cupboard in the House of Commons, you and Tony Benn.